Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. A very anti-Semitic action taken at The Hague, where Israel is sued for quote-unquote genocide. Wait. Here we have an article from Russia Today from December 29th, 2022, and here it is. Israel sued for quote-unquote genocide in The Hague. South Africa has asked the International Court of Justice to intervene in Gaza conflict. Now, it's hard, not that one, but it's hard to really say that South Africa is a, anti this and anti that because of, apartheid, and they know the past, what that is. So they wouldn't dare to be like that. Can't make shit up, man. All right, let's see. South Africa has filed an appeal before the International Court of Justice, ICJ, in The Hague, alleging that Israeli actions in Gaza amount to quote-unquote genocide and asking for quote-unquote provisional measures to stop it, the top United Nations court announced on Friday. Now, this is International Court of Justice, correct? Correct. It is not the ICC, International Criminal Court, which is an organization. This is a body connected to the United Nations. It's the top United Nations court. All right, remember, ICC, the warrant against Putin and all that, that's an organization. That's very nice, very good. You got that in Europe, ICC, International Criminal Court. That's international thing. It's no United Nations. So it doesn't have jurisdiction. United Nations, on the other hand, International Court of Justice, if those would issue, let's say, a warrant against Putin, then things will be really different. The other one is just a club of guys who don't like another guy and they can reach whatever conclusion they want. They don't have jurisdiction or anything to enforce that decision. Neither is United Nations, really, if they find out that, let's say, Putin should be issued a warrant, which I don't think that they do, International Court of Justice attached to United Nations. So let's see what these guys are saying next. The application claims, and I'm quoting, acts and omissions by Israel are genocidal in character, as they are committed with the requisite specific intent to destroy Palestinians in Gaza as a part of the broader Palestinian national, racial, and ethnic group, the ICJ said in a statement. Israel conduct towards the Palestinians in Gaza, and I'm quoting, is in violation of its obligations under the Genocide Convention, end quote. The government in Pretoria said. They also accused Israel of having, and I'm quoting, failed to prevent genocide, end quote, and I'm quoting again, failed to prosecute the direct and public incitement to genocide, end quote, since October 7th. And I'm quoting here, Israel is engaging in, and risks further engaging in genocidal acts against the Palestinian people in Gaza, end quote. This is not what I said, YouTube. This is what South Africa, which, again, it has apartheid, knows exactly what it is, so you can't say anything that they are any like that. It's like, certain groups in America cannot be racist because racism was against them, right? Is that the logic here? They use that logic, so let's use it in South Africa as well. They can't because really they went through that. They were victims of this kind of discrimination and attacks. And all right, let's move on. South Africa also asked the ICJ to, and I'm quoting, indicate provisional measures in order to, quote unquote, protect against further severe and irreparable harm, end quote, to Palestinians under the Genocide Convention. The ICJ also published the 84-page document that lists these measures in detail, first of which is for Israel to, quote unquote, immediately suspend its military operations in and against Gaza. Pretoria also demands the West Jerusalem to stop any and all attacks on Palestinians and to revoke any orders whose goal is, and I'm quoting, to the expulsion and forced displacement from their homes, end quote, or deprivation of access to food, water, fuel, shelter, medical supplies, and other humanitarian needs. Anyone who engages in, and I'm quoting, direct and public incitement to genocide or conspiracy to commit it must be brought to justice, the appeal insists. South Africa demanded Israel submit a report on complying with all these demands within 1 week. You know what Israel will do? That's what they're going to do. What they're going to do? We got the guy over there vetoing left and right. You can't do anything. But this is the ICC. It's a different story. No, ICJ, I'm sorry. Under the ICJ's rules, South Africa's applications has priority over all other cases because of the request for provisional measures. South Africa has previously sought to charge Israel with war crimes before the International Criminal Court, ICC, but you got the European idiots over there. West Jerusalem is not a signatory party to the ICC, neither is Russia, United States, China, India, and others. But the court, also based in The Hague, has previously declared it had jurisdiction over Gaza and the West Bank. On the other hand, both South Africa and Israel are signatories of the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, which was adopted first in 1948 in response to the Nazi mass murder of Jews during the World War II. So this is what's going to be. Israel will ignore it, or Israel will say, that's not true, you are anti-Semitic, shut the fuck up. And South Africa will say, no, we're not, because we lived under all kinds of things and we know better. Well, we know, we know, I'm a victim too. So which is more of a victim has somehow authority? No, truth has authority. I don't care if you're a victim or a perpetrator. You don't have the authority. Truth has the authority. And truth is found by what? Objective investigations, the court of law, objective, right? And so on. Justice. And justice for all. Metallica. All right, my friends, here it is. So I think this is what's going to happen. And if this International Court of Justice, United Nations body, does anything and votes or whatever it does, reaches a conclusion, I guarantee we're going to have the shackled United States of America like Frankenstein. Frankenstein, Al Capone, but see, Al Capone is kind of in charge, whereas others are supposed to be just mere servants. Will be released, release the Kraken or whatever, release this guy. And the United States will do anything, and smack anybody for that. Why? Because that got the key of United States' shackles. You don't think so? Okay, all right, okay. Well, it's all right. Why don't you give me about $20,000 today? Let me adjust this a little bit. $20,000 today. I'm going to give it to you tomorrow. Beautiful, right there. Well, it's better. I want to give it to you tomorrow with a 3,000% interest. And I will meet you tomorrow at noon on the moon. All right. If you're so gullible, so naive, then yeah, you can eat all this garbage that, yeah. My friends, if you pretend you're a virtuous person, if you pretend that you have values, if you pretend that you have principles, those things are across the board and objective. You close your eyes and it doesn't care, it shouldn't matter if it was your father or your mother, uncle, brother, husband, son, daughter who committed the crime. You're going to call that a crime. Equally, if some unknown person committed the same crime, you're going to call it the same way. Now that is justice. Then you have value. Value is not applying certain moral standards that you support when it's in your advantage. When things were against you, you keep your frame. Say, yes, according to my values, according to my standards, according to my principles. Yeah, this is fucked up, but it is as it is. It's not like, oh, you caught me lying, and all of a sudden that I will not call that a lie. I should not be punished. Because why? How about you don't like lies? I don't like when people lie. In general, that's one of my values. But when I lie and I get caught, I shouldn't be punished. Why? Because I'm a nice guy. Now that is infantile and unjust. Nothing will happen with this. Nothing. who has eyes to see, ears to hear, and all that will memorize this, remember it like I will in the future, and I will use it whenever it's going to be convenient to expose the narcissistic behavior of Al Capone and the guy in charge with the key, and not only, but the infantile behavior of the baboons in our society, if you have to debate someone or you have to make a point. So get this, memorize it, and use it in the future as argument. How you call it? Fact-based argument, evidence. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.